right now we have a special guest joining us to discuss not only the X's and O's, but maybe getting us ready for some of the food and snacks, creating the ultimate Super Bowl dish for your party. You're going to have a huge party, I'm sure.
Well, not huge. Only select members invited of the family. But yes, it will be a party.
Apparently I wasn't invited. Maybe our next guest was invited. Two-time Super Bowl champion, former Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward joins us right now. Are you going to invite Hines Ward to your Super Bowl party?
No, he was not a former Falcon. And hey, I love him. Great respect for the guy. But no, come on.
Hines, how do you feel about that? You didn't get an invite.
That's messed up.
All right, so we want to ask you about the X's and O's, but first, can we talk food? Because you've teamed up with PepsiCo to judge a cooking competition. The winner gets to go to the big game. What more can you tell us about this absolutely amazing, fun endeavor?
Yeah, the competition is called Game Day Grub Match, and it's an opportunity for 3 chefs to come up with the ultimate game day dish and a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I was lucky to be a judge along with Food Network, Ann Burrell, and PepsiCo executive Stephen Khalil. I mean, we had a lot of fun to watch and get an opportunity to taste some of the creative dish. You know, PepsiCo, you wouldn't think naked juice would be a part of PepsiCo, but some of the chefs made naked juice ice cream sandwiches, which was crazy. Then they have made a banging Frito pie using basic pita chips. But hey, if you're a food junkie like I am, check out all the episodes and a great recipe on GameDayGrubMatch.com. An opportunity. The winner of the competition got a chance to go. We get a chance to go to Super Bowl 51 and be a part of the big games and join all the sites. So it was a pretty cool experience to be a part of.
Hines, what is the most creative dish? You mentioned a couple of them right there. What's the most creative dish that you've seen?
Man, I feel like, you know, you got to have a little taste of Texas, being that the Super Bowl's down in Houston. So I would like to go with barbecue. You can never go wrong with barbecue. So by using barbecue wings, by using all the different dishes, and of course, the Frito pie. I mean, I think when you're in Texas, you got to have the Frito pie.
Some of those cooks come up with some pretty creative combinations, especially things that you wouldn't really assume would go together. Anything that you've tasted that you're like, I would never try this, but it ended up being really good?
Yeah, it was the Quaker Oats. One of the celebs one of the chefs used Quaker Oats and made some cookies out of Quaker Oats. I would never imagine Quaker Oats tasting like that, and then putting it in a way that you can actually add on to. It was actually Quaker Oats cookie, and they put the naked juice ice cream in between. So it was awesome. It was an awesome, tasty, very flavorful little meal that I think will be kind of the hidden gem for any Super Bowl party.
That sounds amazing. My stomach's grumbling a little bit. But the naked juice ice cream sandwiches sound amazing, too. We're going to have to get the recipe for that. Check that out on the website. So we're one win away from talking about the Steelers playing in the Super Bowl. Instead, though, we're talking about Ben Roethlisberger potentially retiring from the NFL. And I know that those comments were, very short after the loss, and sometimes players need a little bit more time to evaluate their situation. But what was your reaction to what Big Ben said?
I thought it was an emotional reaction. I mean, given that, I'd be shocked if he retired. I mean, just look at his team. What's at stake? You got Antonio Brown, you got Le'Veon Bell, then you add in Martavis Bryant coming in next year. So they have a great opportunity to make another run at the Super Bowl. And then you look at his contract-wise, I mean, he still has over $18 million on the table. So, I mean, just looking at Ben, I don't know about his health-wise, but I still think he has 2 or 3 good more years in him. And with that on the table, the money and the team that he has coming back, I'll be shocked to see if him retiring next season.
Hines, the biggest story leading up to that game, I mean, the Facebook Live video with Antonio Brown. I remember watching a tough player. I mean, you played with such great passion, none of that nonsense. What did you think when you saw that ridiculous video from Antonio Brown released?
Oh, man, I couldn't help but to shake my head. I was a little disappointed. I understand players, they want to self-promote, using social media. That's what they try to do. But unfortunately, I think, 17 minutes of FaceTime, of Facebook Live, that's a very long time to self-promote. I understand thanking your fans, show them a little bit, but then turn it off. But Antonio, he has to learn. He's a young player, a great player. I just think he just got caught up into self-promotion rather than, being about the team. And here head coach Mike Tomlin give an inspirational speech. I mean, that, the locker room is a sacred place. And so when you invite the outside world into that world, I mean, that's when you kind of cross the line. It's a reason why the locker room post-game is closed to the public, and I think that's where Antonio Brown made a mistake. So hopefully he learns from it and grow as a player.
What's your overall assessment of the Steelers this season?
Talent-wise, I just thought talent-wise, I thought they could have played in the Super Bowl. But, when you face Tom Brady, I gave up trying to hate on Tom Brady. I've hated on him many years because I lost to him. I called him a cheater with the Deflategate, but it doesn't matter, airing the ball or not, man. The guy is just, he'll go down as the greatest to ever play the game. Having an opportunity to win his 5th Super Bowl and probably his 4th Super Bowl MVP. Man, he's done more with less talent around him than any other quarterback that was in the playoffs. And now he faces Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, which they're new to the Super Bowl, only making their 2nd Super Bowl appearance. But to me, I'm going to go with the experience over the young, exciting Atlanta Falcons. I look at kind of what Tom Brady has done. I mean, think about it. Chris Hogan, no one really knew about the guy. He only played 1 year of college football. He is matching Julio Jones on 180 yards. So I think that's just a testament to Tom Brady and how good he is.
You mentioned Julio Jones. Where do you think he ranks, Hines? I mean, he's got that physical, play to his game. He's got the speed. He's been an absolute beast. I know everybody talks about Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr. because they're exciting. Where would you rank Julio Jones among the receivers in the NFL?
No, pound for pound, I mean, the guy, he has it all. He's the best all-around receiver in the game today. I mean, he blocks. He runs great routes, and I mean, of course, he has the hands, but to be able to have that size and speed, I mean, you see him stiff-arming, running down the sideline, then that ridiculous catch in the middle of the field. I mean, it's probably one of the best catches of the year. And then be able to got a banged-up toe, and here he is toe-tapping on the sideline. So, Julio, I mean, he doesn't get the recognition like Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham, but, man, he's right there with those guys. And I would even put him ahead of those guys just to say that he has a better all-around game over Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham.
On the other side of the football, receiver-wise, Chris Hogan's emerged as a star, and Tom Brady is said to make a lot of receivers into stars, but Chris Hogan has a unique story in terms of the fact that he was a lacrosse player and then transitioned to football. What have you made of his story recently?
Oh, it was a great story. I mean, he was a lacrosse player at Penn State and then went to Monmouth and played 1 year of college football, and here, signed on with Buffalo, and he was, just a player on the team. Really didn't hear big things out of him. And now, his first year with the Patriots, I mean, he's emerged as a great compliment to Julian Edelman. I mean, think about it. I mean, anytime you have Tom Brady, man, he's going to bring out the best in all the wide receivers. So it's a great opportunity for him, and he made the most of it against my Steelers.
You mentioned Tom Brady. You mentioned the experience. You kind of lean the way of the Patriots. You think the Patriots, at the end of the day, are going to be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy?
I think so. I mean, my heart's with Atlanta because I'm from Atlanta. I've always been a Falcons fan. Growing up as a child, I was in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium way back in the day, watching Prime Time, Too Legit to Quit and all that stuff. So, of course, it's exciting for the city of Atlanta, but I just think, when you see those flashes going off at the beginning of the game, I mean, the adrenaline, the nerves, I think sometimes when you're playing in your first Super Bowl, you tend to play tight. You tend to play, you speed up everything. And I just take, a guy like Tom Brady who's been there before, I mean, just cool, calm, and collective. It's just hard to go against Tom Brady. And think about it, the 2 losses that he's had, it wasn't because Tom Brady. It was because of some fluke plays that the Giants made that they went on to win the Super Bowl. So I just think Tom Brady's on a mission. He missed 4 games already early in the year, and I can just see him now. He wants one for the thumb and have all 5 Super Bowl rings on GQ magazine with his Uggs boots and his model wife and everything.
I think I need to change my mind here. I forgot. I didn't realize you were a Falcons fan growing up. You are invited to my Super Bowl party.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, Falcon fan doesn't have to be a Falcon player as long as you're Falcon.
Come on.
Come on, bring some of that good food over. You're more than welcome.
It only
Let's
took
go
you about
Birds.
9 minutes to get that invite. Being a two-time Super Bowl champion, that's not what got it done. You had to admit that you were from Atlanta. And then,
He's a Falcon fan.
so-
He grew up watching primetime. I mean,
Hey, listen,
I
he's
can
from
relate.
Atlanta. Of course he did.
I grew up in College Park. Yes, I grew up a Falcons guy. But hey, I'm gonna get the hookup from PepsiCo, and I bring up all the foods. Bring over the main dishes for the party, man. Just let me know.
All right. Look
Well,
at that.
when you come through the airport, make sure you don't snap pictures of people wearing your jersey and creeping up on old women, because I don't know how they feel about it. I'm sure when you met her, she was excited, but before that, I don't know. You were lurking a little bit there, huh?
I was. It was a great story because the lady, she was a cancer survivor, so she was coming back home, and thank God I did tap her on the shoulder and say hello. She just was shaking, and so it was kind of cool that I was walking to the baggage claim behind this lady who was wearing my jersey. I had no idea that I was walking behind her. So it was a great story, a great opportunity. She brought a smile to my face.
Absolutely. That's an amazing story, and we're
That's
glad
great.
you stopped her and said hello. Hines, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it, and good luck with all of your endeavors, no matter where it takes you next.
Thank you, guys.